Dear viewers, a man walks out of jail, rape case, gets bail, goes home, and within not months, not weeks, within 15 days, police come knocking again. And what do they find? 7 firearms, 2 air guns, 371 live cartridges, swords, choppers, sickles, steel rods, all of it stuffed behind a fake panel inside a shoe rack. A shoe rack. This wasn't a man hiding his past. He was hiding his next move. And the cherry on top, he had over 3 lakh followers on Instagram. Because apparently in 2026, that's what a role model looks like. This is the story of Surendra Patil, builder, bail jumper, reel star, and now the face of everything that is going wrong with how we treat fame, crime, and accountability in this country. Hello, I'm Tejas, and you're watching Honest Take. Stay with me because this one goes deep. But before that, please subscribe to Lokmat Times if you haven't already and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Surendra Patil, 55 years old, Dombivli, Thane district. On paper, a builder. On Instagram, something else entirely. For years, Patil had been cultivating a very specific image on social media. Slow motion walks, guns, alcohol, cash, that particular swagger that screams, I own this town and the police can't touch me. The media started calling him a real star. Some even called him a Pookie Don. He had nicknames, he had followers, he had clout. And in today's world, clout is currency. But the first time he truly grabbed everyone's attention, and I mean everyone's, was back in 2022. He walked into the Manpada police station, sat himself down in a senior inspector's chair, picked up a gun and filmed a reel inside a police station. He uploaded it on Instagram and WhatsApp. The video went viral. There was outrage. He filed a video apology. Police registered a case and then life moved on. Patil moved on. That moment should have been a full stop. It became a comma. In April 2025, a young woman from Pune, an air hostess, walked into Manpada police station and filed a complaint against Patil. Her story was disturbing. She had liked one of his Instagram reels. That's all. He contacted her, promised to help her get a job at Mumbai airport, called her to his Dombivli office, and then, according to her complaint, raped her at gunpoint. Threatened to kill her parents if she spoke up. He did not stop there. He called her again. Paperwork, he said. When she resisted a second time, he allegedly tried to humiliate her by falsely accusing her of theft and forcing her to submit to a degrading physical search. A second woman, a widow, a tenant, also came forward. She alleged that Patil offered to waive her rent and return seized machinery in exchange for sexual favors. When she refused, he allegedly assaulted her. 2 women, 2 completely different circumstances, one common thread: Surendra Patil and his sense of absolute untouchable power. After the Pune woman's complaint, Patil went absconding. Police searched, cases piled up, history sheeter they called him. Around a dozen registered cases at last count. Eventually, he was arrested. And then, in March 2026, he got bail. 15 days of freedom, that's all it took. On the night of 29th March 2026, Thane Crime Branch received a tip-off and raided Patil's bungalow in Dombivli. Officers noticed something odd, a brand new shoe rack. Shiny, fresh, completely out of place with the rest of the house. They dismantled it. Inside, 7 firearms, mostly country-made pistols and revolvers, 2 air guns, 371 live cartridges, 167 pellets, swords, choppers, knives, sickles, steel rods, the whole thing valued at around 10 lakh rupees. Some of the guns had engravings, made in USA, special auto. Whether imported or customized, police haven't confirmed yet. But here is what they have said. These weapons were not decorative. They were operational, ready to use. One senior officer described it as a war chest designed for a small militia. A small militia living in a bungalow in Dombivli. Patil was arrested on the spot, produced before a Kalyan court, and remanded to police custody. Alright, facts are done. Now let's talk about what is actually broken here, because there are several things. First, how? How does a man with multiple serious cases, including rape, including prior gun-related stunts in a police station, quietly build a small arsenal at home? How does nobody, not local intelligence, not the crime branch, not a neighbor, not a tip from the ground, catch this before he walks out of jail, before a 15-day countdown begins? This man was not unknown. He had 3 lakh followers. He posed with guns for reels. He was arrested. He had cases. He was already on the radar. And yet, a shoe rack was enough to hide it all. That is not just Surendra Patil failing the system. That is the system failing everyone. Second, the bail. When a man is accused of rape at gunpoint and has a very public history of waving guns around for clout, what does a court need to know before deciding whether to grant bail? Because somewhere in that equation, the dots were not connected. Delhi police have been running dedicated operations against so-called social media gangsters. They have reviewed thousands of accounts, arrested dozens of people, including juveniles, seized firearms. They are treating the Instagram feed as a crime scene. Maharashtra, meanwhile, watched a man with 3 lakh followers post gun-flaunting reels for years, including from inside a police station. And the response was a case for the video apology. And then, quiet. There has to be a cyber intelligence framework that flags known offenders who continue to publicly display weapons on social media. This should not be complicated. It should be standard. It is not. Here is what I want you to sit with for a moment. In semi-urban class areas like Kalyan Dombivli, where jobs are uncertain, futures feel distant, and the system feels tilted, a man like Patil doesn't look like a criminal to everyone who watches his reels. He looks like someone who has made it. The guns, the attitude, the followers, the apparent fearlessness, that is the product he was selling, and lakhs of people were buying it. There is a particular kind of vulnerability that comes from having no clear path forward, and into that vacuum, Instagram drops a man with a slow motion walk, a gun in his belt, and 100,000 likes. The algorithm doesn't tell you he is accused of rape, it just shows you the reel again and again and again. We are watching a culture take shape. One, where transgression is content, where criminal history is street credibility, where the police station isn't a symbol of law, it's a backdrop, and we are letting platforms profit from it. This case cannot end with Surendra Patil in custody. That is the bare minimum. That is the floor. What needs to happen, and I mean actually happen, not just be discussed in press conferences. 1. Post-bail monitoring has to be real, not a signature on a piece of paper. Real conditions, real checks, real consequences for violations, especially when the original crime allegedly involved a firearm. 2. Maharashtra needs a dedicated, proactive digital surveillance unit, not reactive, not tip-off dependent, that systematically tracks accounts, glorifying illegal weapons, and cross-references them with criminal records. Delhi is already doing this. There is a template. Use it. 3. Platform accountability. Instagram cannot keep monetizing and amplifying content from known offenders. Faster takedowns, account-level sanctions, coordination with law enforcement on gun-glorifying content. These need to be non-negotiable. Not a promise in a police document, a functioning reality. And 4, and this might be the hardest one, we need to actually talk to young people in these communities about what they are watching and why it's a lie. The guns aren't props, the freedom isn't real. The 15 days between bail and arrest are not plot twists in a web series. They are the radius of actual destruction. Surendra Patil did not come out of nowhere. He was built by followers who clicked, by algorithms that amplified, by systems that looked away, and by a culture that decided that fear is fascinating and crime is content. The shoe rack is open now. The arsenal is out. The arrest has been made. But unless something structurally changes in policing, in platforms, in how we tell these stories, the next version of this man is already filming his next reel. And somewhere, a teenager is watching. That should bother all of us a lot more than it currently does. This was your honest take with me, Tejas. If you found this video important, please share it, comment on it, and keep watching Lokmat Times for more such stories.